Welcome back to Squawk Box. We have breaking news right here in Times Square. Police have now confirmed an explosion that's taken place at 42nd Street and 8th Avenue in New York. A senior NYPD official telling NBC News that one person sustained a minor injury and that a person is also in custody. The NYPD just tweeted that the explosion was in the subway. One male subject is in custody. No injuries other than that suspect at the time. They're also saying to avoid the area. Joining us right now on the Squawk Newsline is NBC News terrorism analyst Evan Kohlman, now a senior partner at Flashpoint. Good morning to you. Help us try to understand what to make of this. When you see as many police and ambulances head towards 42nd and 8th, and you hear these type of headlines, it makes you very nervous. But then at the same time, it seems, at least from some of what we've heard from the NYPD, that maybe it has been a limited situation.
Yeah, look, I think particularly after the incident that happened out in the West Side Highway bike path just now a few weeks ago, NYPD and other emergency officials here are taking these things very seriously. And I think what you're seeing is likely an abundance of caution. That being said, it does look like some kind of explosion took place. There's discussion possibly, and this hasn't been confirmed yet, but possibly that it's a pipe bomb. While, the casualties so far seem fairly limited, there's no telling that there aren't other individuals out there right now or that there's not another device. And until that can be confirmed, again, an abundance of caution. I think, particularly given the events that have happened recently around the world, not just here in New York, there is a concern about the holiday season. And if you walk around the Port Authority or 42nd Street, the subway station, it's abundantly clear that this is it's an attractive target for terrorists, and those are terrorists of all types. The good news here so far is that it doesn't look like, if this was a device, that it was very sophisticated, and it doesn't look like a lot of people were hurt by it, which is, again, the good news. The bad news is that protecting against these kind of attacks, if it was a terrorist attack, is almost impossible.
Evan, if it is it any type of game changer? We were discussing earlier, I don't believe in any recent memory, or in my memory at all, that we've had an attack with the word terrorism associated related to the subway system in New York, which, of course, millions of travelers on a daily basis.
Yeah, look, to be fair, there have been any number of terrorist plots going all the way back to the mid-1990s, which targeted the New York City subway system. So this is not an unusual or unique idea. It's true, though, that most of these plots have been thwarted, some of them in their fairly early stages. And unfortunately, it's not just ISIS. There have been any number of terrorist groups that have looked at targets like this. And if you look at events in the world today, particularly events like what happened last week, it's certainly possible that some, lone disgruntled individual carried this out. So far, what we're looking at, if this was terrorism, if this was a terrorist attack, so far what we're looking at definitely is within the capability of a single person or two people. So, it underscores part of the problem here. The New York City subway system is huge. It's open. Anyone can come in. There's not a huge amount of security there. And what that means is that it's a very vulnerable target.
Right. Without being alarmist about it, people worried about coordinated attacks on a morning like this. If you're still at home, thinking of either heading to the office or commuting elsewhere, what would you be doing?
Well, look, I think it's good advice in general, because even if this is not terrorism, even if this has nothing to do with that, even if there isn't a second device, the area around the Port Authority and 42nd Street subway station right now is a mess. If you can avoid it, if you can go around it, that's highly recommended for any number of different reasons. There's a lot of emergency personnel right there. It's simply not worth it. If there's any way of avoiding those two areas right now, it would be highly recommended, period.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.